Welcome to RetroLogic. I'm Dan Caparello, and joining me today, as always, we have John Cummins.
Howdy.
And we've got Sam Wagers.
Hello.
And very special guest today, community member and a content creator in his own right, Steven Keller, joining us today. How are you doing, Steven?
Doing great, Dan. How are you doing?
Awesome. Doing really, really good. Thanks for asking. Awesome. Good. We got a really good group tonight, a really fun chat ahead of us. But before we get too far, we can't forget to talk about how RetroLogic isn't just a podcast, but it's also a retro game store. You can visit retrologic.games to check out our growing inventory of clean, tested, and authentic retro games and merch. And I just adjusted the prices without it becoming a tongue twister. You can't. It is a tongue twister. I adjusted the prices down, so go check out some new pricing. And also, I was on the Reformed Gamers podcast this week talking about Super Metroid. So if you want to hear my voice even more this week, you can go check them out. And that was a really fun chat. Me and Logan chatting about Super Metroid. But enough about me. Steven, first of all, thanks for being a community member, and thanks for jumping in with us tonight. Why don't you chat with us a little bit about what you've been doing, what you've been playing, what you've been buying. What's going on, dude?
Been a little bit busy. I was been sick for the past week, just stuck at home with a cold. So I had a little bit of free time to play some games. Playing wise, while I was in bed, I kind of just played some Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D on the 3DS. It's been kind of my game to play while I've been watching soccer this past month between the Euros and CONCACAF Gold Cup and all that kind of stuff. Also been playing a little game called Pictooi, which I think Sam or Seth talked about last week. I think it was. That's a pretty fun game. It's addicting, little Picross type game. This past weekend was Avengers free weekend on the PS4, so I kind of played some of that, which was kind of a nice bonus for them because it got me to actually buy the game. Before, when I played a demo, I wasn't really that interested, but for some reason this trial kind of sucked me in.
It worked.
And yeah, it worked. And then just a little bit of Skyward Sword since it got released. Been playing that. In regards to buying, I bought kind of quite a bit lately. I bought a Super Mario and Sonic at the Olympics for the Switch. Just got that Olympic itch and decided to give that a try, mainly because I wanted to see how the soccer aspect of that game worked. I picked up Blasphemous for the Switch just because I like 2D side-scrolling type games, and I kind of like the aesthetic that game, the demo that's out for the Switch, kind of gave. Picked up the Shantae and Shantae's Risky Revenge for the Switch with the limited run release that Best Buy did. Just I've heard those games are pretty fun. I've never played any of them, and they seem like my type of game given what I like with 2D side-scrollers. And then retro-wise, I picked up Metroid Other M for the Wii, just something that I've had my eye on. I used to have it, then I got rid of it when this website called Goozex was a thing. I don't know if you guys ever used Goozex back in the day, but do you guys know anything about that site? What it used to be?
Not at all.
No.
It was a video game trading site where you would put games up and they'd allot points for it. So new games were worth like the most points. They were worth 1,000 points, and then you'd put up games that you want to trade, and then you could request games back, and they kind of did like a queue system. And so I kind of purged a lot of games with that back in the day, but they randomly shut down just on the whim. So I lost quite a bit of points that I could never redeem. And so that kind of sucked. And then the last game I picked up was The Mask for the Super Nintendo. It was a recent pickup that finally just came in the mail this past weekend. So
Excellent.
I've been a little busy.
Have you gotten to try the soccer in the Olympic Games?
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think it's as good as Strikers.
Oh, yeah.
But it's minor mini thing. You don't really have the power-ups. You have like one little power-up, and it's like 4v4. So it's not too bad.
That's what I was going to ask you, how compared to Strikers, because I think I'm not the only one who's itching for a sequel to that game.
Yeah, it would be nice to get a game.
Awesome. Good. Well, welcome to the podcast, Steven, again. Let's jump into what some of our other hosts have been playing. What about you, Sam? What did you buy? What did you play this week?
Yeah, I had a pretty big pickup this week that finally came in. I bought this on eBay, and it is Dokapon Kingdom. Not the Wii game, which is much more expensive, but the PS2 version, which, as far as I know, is the same. But generally goes for cheaper. But this is actually a brand new copy. There were a couple of these put up on eBay for $60 each, which is well below the price they usually go for and the price they did now. I double-checked price charting. That was what they were charting at. It seems like somebody just, like, found a couple big boxes full of these or something.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if this is real, but it came in. It seems to be real. I still can't believe it, but I
Did
have
you pop
it right
it open?
here. So, yeah. Yeah, I did. I liberate it. I'm not trying to flip it, send it off, and get it graded and sealed or anything like that.
Oh man,
Make
you
$1 million
should.
bucks, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to check that one out. And the other game that came in is the last of my Super Famicom binge of a bunch of Super Famicom games, and that is Marvelous Another Treasure Island. I don't know if you've heard of this before, but it's kind of somewhat sought after even by North American collectors because it is the first game Eiji Aonuma directed before he went on to work on the Zelda series.
Oh. Now, is that a North American game?
No,
No,
it's
okay.
Japan only. That's why I got the Super Famicom version because it's the only one.
That's what I was
But
wondering.
there are translation patches. That's something I have been taking advantage of too. I did install the jailbreak firmware to my Super NT that allows me to copy ROMs off of my cartridges, which I can then patch and then play the ROM file off an SD card. So that is my way of doing the emulation thing, is to keep everything as above board as I can, where I am actually copying my own cartridge. I'm not downloading some from somebody else. Because that is the unfortunate thing, is even when there's a fan translation, you can't write it onto the cartridge.
Yeah.
You pretty much have to rip a ROM file at that
Okay.
point.
Right on.
Yeah, but as far as playing, I did get a chance to check out Jelly Boy on the Nintendo Switch Online app. Apparently, there's a lot of people that like this game. Kind of a under the radar. It is a little rough around the edges. You will have a rough time getting used to the controls, I would say. Just one of those things about platformers that aren't Mario a lot of the time is that the jump just feels wrong.
Yeah.
It's just, you jump too high and you stay in the air too long and you're like, what is this?
It's no clock.
But it does a lot of interesting things. It does a lot of interesting things, and the thing that just blew my mind, even though it's stupid, is it was like the first level, there's a part where there's like a moving platform that takes you under some spikes, and you're like, oh, I see what I need to do. I need to crouch so that the spikes don't hit me. And I tried pressing down, and that didn't work, so I'm like, okay, how do I crouch? How do I duck? How do I do this? I need to duck, and it's the A button. So something wonderful happened when I tried the A button. Jelly Boy ducked, and he ducked by turning into a duck. It was great. My mind was blown.
Okay.
Like, it is functional.
Yeah.
Like, you go lower so that stuff won't hit you, but he turns into a duck when he does it. And while you're holding the A button to duck and you press the X button, you quack. That serves no purpose, but it's hilarious.
Wow.
So were you expecting like a Kirby duck where like he just gets flat?
Yeah.
I was just expecting like a normal like crouching animation, but no,
Or, like,
he turns
does he
into a duck.
Turn into a ball like Samus because she can't crouch?
That's like
Yeah.
oddly connected to Claymates, where you kind of do, you don't turn into a duck, but you're made of clay and you transform and stuff. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I recommend checking Jelly Boy out. I played through the first world, but I can't actually go to the next world because apparently you need all the puzzle pieces to do that. So there's like hidden collectibles in every level.
Gosh.
But yeah, this is actually another game that didn't release in North America. It was a UK release. So that's interesting too.
That's kind of cool.
So if you've never heard of it, that's probably why.
Yeah. That's all you got for me?
Yeah, not as retro, but I've been playing more Pokemon Unite, and of course, after talking about The World Ends With You last week, I picked up the sequel and got a chance to play that. I'm a decent amount into the game now. I ended the first week. The original game had 3 weeks. I don't know how many this game has, but I'm liking it.
Cool. Sweet. All right, John. What you been up to?
I had, well, I'd say it's lighter. That's about what I normally buy. I found a copy of Bloodrayne for the GameCube, which it was like $6. It's not my first choice of game, but whenever I see, even just for the case, it's like, a GameCube case is worth $5. So I was like, well, I gotta at least like check this game out.
Yeah.
I found Gunvalkyrie for the Xbox after watching you and hearing you talk about it. I just looked. I never even look at the Xbox games because I don't have a way to play them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most of them. I do have an Xbox One that can play some of them, but not a whole lot. So I went in and picked that up. They had a copy of Pokemon Fire Red for the Game Boy Advance for $40 or $35, somewhere around in there.
That's half price.
And
so,
I know.
Oh my god!
I seen it and I was like, I have to look and see if this is real. Like, do they know that it's not real and they're selling it anyway? So I like open it up, check it out. No, it's authentic. So I went ahead and picked that up, even though I already have Leaf Green, so I probably won't play it, but just to hold on to. And then I had a package come in from Zack, who's part of our Discord community as well. And I bought from him Rogue Galaxy for the PS2 and Chrono Cross for the PS1.
Nice.
Both of these were in really good shape. I got all the stickers off of Rogue Galaxy. Cleaned it up really good. Played a little bit here and there. Chrono Cross is complete except for the manual, I believe. And when I first looked at the discs, they were like a little scratched up. I didn't know. But it fired right up. So I played a little bit of it as well.
Nice.
Which I'll talk about that in a minute. I also picked up Zack and Wiki for the Wii.
Awesome.
Got this for like $10
Nice.
on Mercari. That's one that's been missing. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just been missing from my Wii collection for a while, so figured I'd get it back. Played a little bit of that. Just love the quirkiness of the game. Like, I don't know, Capcom was doing some cool stuff in the Wii era that we all forget about
GameCube era too.
because they didn't go anywhere with it afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
It's another one of those where it's kind of unusual to see a third-party developer like take advantage of Nintendo's hardware and all the gimmicks it has like that.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely a Wii game. I mean, you're going to be doing all kinds of weird stuff to make things work. I played a couple hours of that, just checking it out, make sure it works. Chrono Cross. This is one that I never played because I never had a PlayStation. First PlayStation I got was a PlayStation 3, so I wasn't even thinking about playing Chrono Cross at the time that I got it. So I played like I basically just started it up, to make sure that the discs work, but I played like the first basic mission. You have to go get 3 what are they called? I don't know. You got to collect 3 of this item from another area of the map. And that game is really a good looking game for the PS1. And it plays totally different from Chrono Trigger, which I wasn't expecting. Like, I thought it was going to be more closely bound to Chrono Trigger and how it plays, but no, the mechanics are totally different. The battle system's different. They just totally flipped it up on its end for a sequel. But I wish I had more time. I'd probably play a little bit more of it right now, but I'm still trying to finish Monster Hunter Stories 2 so that I can play Skyward Sword. I think I'm at the very last area, so I'm getting close. I think I'm like 30 hours in, so I'll have to hop right into Skyward Sword after that.
Yes. Sweet. Good deal, man. Yeah, I've been playing Skyward Sword. And I didn't get very far this week because I was trying to get through Donkey Kong Country 2. And then also my son has been really wanting to play Minecraft with me. We had this whole ordeal this week where his cousin told him about, like, my son and I have been playing Minecraft together on and off for a year or 2 years or so. And he just likes to watch me do stuff, you know, like, so we'll like build a castle or we'll go dig underground and find a cave. And I play survival mode and he only knows survival mode. So like, that's fine with me. Like, I like the challenge. But so his cousin told him about the Nether. And like, I wasn't gonna like broach the Nether with him right now. He's 6 and it's kind of like creepy and like kind of hard to like pull off because you need like all this diamond to make a diamond pickaxe, to make obsidian, to build the portal. But he was like, Adeline told me about the Nether. I want to go to the Nether. I'm like, are you sure? Like, we're still kind of having a hard time with like creepers and like Enderman. So are you sure you want to go to the Nether? He's like, yeah, let's go. So I was like, okay. So we took forever to find diamond. It's, I don't know, like they like must have adjusted something at some point because I don't remember diamond being this hard to find, or maybe we were just really unlucky. We probably spent an hour just mining for diamond. Then we finally found the diamond. We made the pickaxe. We couldn't find a pool of lava because to make obsidian, you have to pour water in a pool of lava, but all we could find were lava falls, and that doesn't make obsidian. You have to have the pool. So we dug around for that. We found that, made the obsidian, made the portal, went through, and just, man, even though this game is like, what, 11 plus years old, it's still so detailed and like so well made, and like the whole passage into the Nether where you kind of stand in the portal and everything gets all weird and then it loads a whole new world. And we almost died. We were on the verge of death almost the entire time we were in there. Like we landed on the edge of like a lava lake with I don't know what the name of anything is in there, but there's the big white jellyfish floaty thing that like launches fire at you. There were 2 of those, and there was like Enderman everywhere. And we were like, okay, we are going to die if we stay here. We need to turn back around. We got a couple glowstones, and then we headed back. And I was like, all right, next time you want to go back to the Nether? He was like, no, I don't want to go back to the Nether. So that was my gaming adventure this week. We're going to talk about Donkey Kong Country 2 later in the episode, so I'll save that. But no pickups this week for me, just kind of chilling in the summer, waiting for the fall to kick up again. But I did make some purchases for the store, so there should be some new inventory coming in later this week, so look out for that. That's me. That's all I did this week. Y'all want to play some Prices Retro?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Gotta defend my championship belt from last week, right?
All right, well, if this is your first time playing Prices Retro, here's how we do this. I'm going to list off 4 or 5 games, and you're going to guess what all of the games in total are worth based on PriceCharting.com's total evaluation. And we're all going to go, name our lists, and guess, and whoever ends up being the closest to the total price wins. Now, Sam won last time, for the first time. I've been on a hot streak.
It's not the only time.
Yeah, I've been on a hot streak except for last week. But John, I think you still have the most wins, which I don't know that anybody's ever going to pass you. But, you know, it's just fun too.
You guys are getting close.
We'll have to do it in season, so like everybody can start at 0 at some point, you know, and like you can win the season, John, and then we'll start over after we get the wiki.
We could do like annual matches.
Yeah, that sounds good. The anniversary is coming up in October, so we'll reset.
Yeah, Dan
them.
talks about the like 3 episodes he wasn't here that he's behind, but I'm like 30 behind.
This is true.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you need a clean slate.
That's it. All right, Steven, you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay. Well,
I'm nervous though. We'll see what happens.
I'm gonna make John go first this time. Oh, we also have one guest list this week too. We have a community member guest list, so we'll do that at the very end. But all right, John, why don't you list off your games and we will do our best.
Alrighty, so the first game on my list is Virtual Fighter for the Sega 32X loose. The second game is Tekken for the PS1 complete. The third game is King of Fighters 2002 for the Neo Geo loose.
For the Neo Geo, like the cartridge system?
Yep. And the last game is Fatal Fury for the Neo Geo loose.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I have a pretty good pulse on these games. So I'll go first. My guess, I'm just going to go 300 straight across.
Alrighty.
What do you got, Sam?
220.
And Steven, what do you got?
I'm just gonna guess 350.
All right, okay. Above and
Alrighty.
below.
The total for all of my games is $835.
Oof.
OMG. I bet it was those freaking Neo Geo games, I bet. I haven't looked at those prices in forever.
Virtual Fighter for the Sega 32X loose is $15. Tekken for the PS1 complete is $49.
I had those reversed.
King of Fighters 2002 for the Neo Geo loose is $664.
Goodness.
And Fatal Fury for the Neo Geo loose is $107.
Wow.
I'm sure you can guess my theme.
107 is like what I was like ballparking for most of those Neo Geo games. So just goes to show you how much I know.
Yeah, I looked at Neo Geo games like at all.
All right. Well,
I have a feeling you will after this.
You Sammed us, John.
Yes, I sammed you today.
Brought out the big guns.
Awesome. All right, well, Steven, you wanna list off your games for us?
All right. All mine are complete in box games.
Okay.
So first we'll start out with Mick Kids for the NES.
Complete in box.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we're going to go Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters for the Game Boy, complete in box.
Okay.
And then Looney Tunes B-Ball for the Super Nintendo, complete in box.
Okay.
And FIFA Road to World Cup 98 on the N64, complete in box.
All right. I have a guess. I'm gonna let somebody else go first this time.
I'll go first. Why not?
Go ahead.
$199.
All right.
All right.
I'm thinking 375.
Oh, John. Okay. My guess was 400. So hopefully you and I are tracking here.
Hopefully.
You know those were complete in box games, right, Sam?
I know.
Okay.
I know. I always lowball
maybe
the
you're
complete
right.
box stuff.
You've been right before on these, or we
That's
think
true.
they're worth more.
All right, Steven, give us that total.
All right. So total was, we'll start with game breakdown. We had
Okay.
McKids complete was $88. Kid Icarus for the Game Boy was $176. Looney Tunes B-Ball for the Super Nintendo was $181. And then FIFA Road to World Cup 98 was $27 for a total of $472.
That's right. That's me, baby. I'm not going to make it up from what my last guess was, but that's nice to be close. Man, McKids is only $80 complete. I had that one much higher.
Yeah. That one was always surprised me with how low it is. I thought that one would be more, but maybe because McDonald's gave so many away. I don't know.
It's weird.
Probably. Could be next
I was
on
surprised-
Dan's pickup list.
Looney Tunes was the surprise one for me. I didn't think that one would be so high.
No,
yeah,
that
I don't. The loose cartridge is what, like 30?
It's gone up since I bought it like a year
I figured
ago.
it probably had gone
Yeah,
up.
it's,
I mean,
it's
a lot
like
of
50 to
stuff's gone up.
65 or something like that now.
all right.
Surprise.
Looney Tunes B-ball, man. All right, cool. So I'll go ahead and do my list next. We've got Major Minor's Majestic March for the Wii, complete in box. Tamagotchi Connection Corner Shop 3 for the Nintendo DS, complete in box. Vib Ribbon, which is a PAL-only PlayStation game. PAL and Japan, but I'm doing the PAL version, complete in box. And Parappa the Rapper for the PlayStation, complete in box. Who's got a guess? Do-do. Who's got a guess? Do-do-do-do-do-do. And you'll never get the theme, because that's how
What was
I
that
roll.
first game, Dan?
Major Minor's Majestic March for the Wii.
Do
Okay.
you have a category? What kind of game was that?
That is a rhythm game for kids. I mean, I guess for anybody, but it was designed for kids. You don't have to be a kid to play it.
I'm going to guess 300, I think.
Okay.
I was going to go 250.
I'm splitting the difference, I guess. 270.
All right. So I'll do the breakdown first. We've got Major Minor's Majestic March for $5.59.
Oh, boy.
Tamagotchi Connection Corner Shop 3 for the DS is $21. Vib Ribbon, the PAL version for PlayStation, is $101. And Parappa the Rapper for the PlayStation is $105, which has jumped up significantly. I was looking at this game for $50 probably 2 months ago.
Yep.
And now I will never own it. And that's very sad. Unless I get a PS4. So the total value being $233. I think that means Steven won that round.
Yes.
Congrats, Steven.
Thanks.
Good guessing. So my theme is actually all of these games were directed by a gentleman by the name of, please don't butcher this name, Masaya Matsura, who he's responsible for Parappa the Rapper and Vib Ribbon and Jammer Lammy and all of those games, but he actually is considered the father of the modern rhythm game. He's responsible for production of the audio portion for Sony's third robotic dog toy. And in 2000, he won an Interactive Achievement Award for the composition of Unjammer Lammy. And in 2004, he was awarded the first Penguin Award at the International Game Developers Association for his innovative contributions to rhythm games in the industry. He hasn't done much lately. He made a game called Haunt on the Xbox 360 in the Xbox Arcade, Live Arcade, and then he has an Apple TV game called Beat Sports. So, but he's done a lot of like music collaborations and stuff in Japan. So he's not doing stuff. He just hasn't worked on games in a while. But that's my theme. They're all developed by this guy. I don't know what he was doing with the Tamagotchi game, but that was a nice little curveball for you. Who's next? Who hasn't gone yet? John?
I'm the only one who
Sam. Sorry, bud. You are up next.
Well,
Go ahead.
and our guest list, but I'll go ahead of the guest
Yeah.
list, I guess. I'll go over the theme when I do the price breakdown. So first up, we have Goof Troop for the Super Nintendo, complete in box. Penguin Adventure for the MSX, complete in box.
Oh my gosh.
King's Knight for the NES, complete in box.
I've seen that game popping up a lot lately. Is something going on with that
Yeah.
game?
And lastly, F-15 Strike Eagle for the Commodore 64, complete in box.
Is that a flight sim? What is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Flight combat simulator.
Is it a shmup?
All right, I'm gonna go 175.
175 for Dan.
I think I'm gonna do 250.
250 for John.
225 for me. That was in my head.
225.
Split that difference.
Well, I think Steven is incredibly close because the total is $228.95.
Dang, man!
I did it.
So the theme
Just
here was
$3
actually my theme here was going off of Marvelous and Other Treasure Island and how that game was kind of one of the early games AGL Numa worked on before Zelda. So these are all games that were worked on by some big name video game developers in the industry before the series they're much better known for. So
That's
Troop,
cool.
I think we've talked about before. That game was worked on by Shinji Mikami, who is kind of the guy behind Resident Evil.
No way.
And that goes for $52.66 complete. Penguin Adventure was worked on by none other than Hideo Kojima. And
Wow.
it goes for $122.79.
For that
Complete
reason
inboxed.
alone, I bet.
Probably.
Yeah, has to be.
King's Knight, complete for the NES, goes for $39.94. And that was worked on by Hironobu Sakaguchi, who is
Yeah.
better known for Final Fantasy.
I was gonna ask if that was him because that's like a Square game.
And lastly, F-15 Strike Eagle for the Commodore 64 goes for $13.56. That is one of the games that Sid Meier created before Civilization.
Oh, that's cool.
Microprose, his company, was actually, they kind of cut their teeth on flight sims. There were a lot of those
That's really interesting.
that they did.
All right. That's, and I think at how it sits right now, I think John is in the lead because of your crazy thing. But Steven, you're probably a close second with your score, I would only imagine. John has the actual numbers. But before we end it, we have to do our guest list. So I'm going to pull up our Discord conversation and unspoiler these games as we say them. So game number 1, this is from Flightsy, by the way, community member Flightsy, one of our favorites, is New Play Control Pikmin for the Wii, complete in box. Actually, I'm going to keep track of my prices here. New Play Control Pikmin for the Wii, complete in box.
Okay.
We've got Pikmin 2 Nintendo Selects for the Wii, complete in box. And the last one is Pikmin 3 Deluxe for the Switch, complete in box. I think we can guess the theme here.
Yes.
But before I do the total, I'll do the theme. He said, "You all knew I'd have to do Pikmin again." And the total. Oh shoot! Okay, I looked at the total, so I can't guess. All right, y'all are gonna guess. I'm
gonna say-
off my game tonight. Okay.
I'm gonna say 150.
I haven't looked at Wii games in a while, but I'm going to say 110.
Okay, Steven?
I hate you, John. My numbers were going to add up to 155,
That's fine.
but all right.
Yeah. Me and Dan have guessed
close.
the exact same number before.
Yeah, literally have. All right, so the actual total is 128, which is lower than what I was gonna guess, but I'm not playing because I can't. I cheated by accident. So we've got Pikmin. The first one, New Play Control, is worth $34. Pikmin 2 on the Wii is worth $58, and Pikmin 3 on the Switch is $35. He has an explanation too. He says, "This was a pretty simple one, actually. The theme refers to the fact that I was doing a second Pikmin-themed Price is Retro. The first one was the Essential Pikmin Trilogy from episode 30, which was kind of trolly, so it makes sense I'd come back and try to do a proper one. There's double meaning, though. The theme says I'm doing Pikmin again, which hints at the fact that I'm using re-releases and not the originals. That is fun. Good times. I love when Flightsy does a Price is Retro because you know you're in for something interesting. Good deal. Okay, so why do we not count Flightsy's round as the final
don't count the
score?
round I won.
Sam, you weren't going to win anyway, but come on. I'm sorry.
So I was a little bit more back on my game this week. I was less than $100 off of each one.
Yeah, sweet.
So Dan was off by a total difference of $660.
Yeah, thanks to you.
I was off by $186. Sam was at $925, and our guest Steven was at $505.
So, John, you technically won. So I'll give you the
Yes.
win. But Steven, you pulled out two guesses from the lot of guesses. So you win the statistical award. Or we have to come up with a different award where, like, if you win the most rounds, it's a different award than being the closest. So I'm going to give that to you.
We could eventually revamp the point system so that it's not a blanket who gets the closest.
Yeah, we will eventually. We're still, we're just having fun here. So
This is all brand new.
yeah. Awesome. Well, that is Price is Retro. Congrats to John. Congrats to Steven. Well, better luck next time for me and you, Sam. All right. So next up, we have just a little discussion we're going to do. It appears that Square Enix is being review bombed because of Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. And Sam, what's the like methodology behind the review bombing? Like, why are people so upset?
Basically, tons of people are going on to online review aggregator sites and submitting 0 out of 10 review scores with no text, just because they're upset that it's not on Switch or other consoles.
I see. John, what do you think about this?
So, first, I'm not going to say that I agree with review bombing all the time, but Square did ask for feedback on whether or not, this should be on consoles. They said show interest, or they didn't give you a way to do that. So I think this is kind of the effect that you get whenever you don't have a forum to speak on that level. It's not like you can roll up to Square Enix and say, hey, I want this on console.
Yeah.
They didn't even send out they could have sent out surveys. They could have done something. But
and this is my problem with review bombing, is that when you take normal review score standards and change it to 0 or 10, as many people do, it drowns out anybody with a more nuanced opinion. It leaves only the loudest voices.
Well, sure, but if you want to avoid those aggregated reviews, it's pretty easy to do. There are actual reviewers that are giving the game real scores.
And that's why I pretty much ignore them.
Yeah,
anyway.
and John does. I'm not a fan of review bombing in general either. John does have a point that, like, the Square says that they're listening, but they're about as tone deaf as EA when it comes to stuff like that usually. So it's hard to know how to even give them feedback when it's like, hey, I would love to play this on my Switch.
Well, it's hard to know even how they'll respond.
Exactly.
Their takeaway from all this might be, let's just not re-release anything because people don't like it when we do.
That's the opposite of. That's why I'm saying they could be tone deaf. Steven, do you have any thoughts on this?
I never played a Final Fantasy game, so I don't have any thoughts on the remakes or anything, but I don't think I'm a big fan of review bombing. I don't really look at Metacritic that much, if that's the main site where you can see these review bombs, but
It usually is.
yeah. But in general, I don't think I'm a big fan of the review bomb, but yeah, it's a good point about Square Enix is going to have any other way to know that they've messed up, I guess, because sales depends on, I guess, how well it's selling.
Yeah. And the other thing too, and Nintendo is actually fairly guilty of this, is that, like, they sometimes, like, so their methodology seems like we don't actually know what we want. We have to be like told what we want in a way, which I don't believe, but that seems to be the way that some of these big game companies are acting, for better or for worse. Nintendo gives us a lot of surprises as well, and those are nice, right? Nobody would have asked for Metroid Dread. Like, everybody forgot about Metroid Dread, right? And now that's going to be Metroid 5, so that's amazing. Nobody asked for Splatoon on the Wii U when it came out. What? You know what I mean? Sometimes it's nice to be surprised. This kind of surprise, though, where it's like, hey, check out this cool thing. By the way, most of you aren't going to play it because it's only on PC or mobile. I can see that causing that kind of a reaction. It's like if Nintendo was like, yeah, we're gonna release Mother 3 on the Game Boy Advance now, but not on Switch or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's a bad example.
Well,
but like,
Square is basically cutting off, I don't know, easily 50% of their market by not releasing this on a console of any kind.
Yeah.
I mean, 50% is probably
generous,
giving the PC and smartphone market more than they deserve. They probably don't even have that many downloads compared to what a console would sell. It just doesn't it's not smart business sense for something that would probably take little work to get working. It's not like it's not like you're being asked to port a brand new game that's like on the best engine that can't be supported by all consoles. You're talking about a game that's a slight remaster at best.
Right.
And to try to get it working on a console, it can't be that much to ask for. I'm not a game developer, so I'm not going to say that I know exactly what it takes, but I can't imagine. I mean, we've already seen, even if they just ported the smartphone version over, the Pixel remastered, they've done it on the Switch before, and I've bought those games. I have Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 on my Switch, and they're basically just smartphone ports of those games. So it just doesn't make any sense to me that they would just completely cut out a market, that they sell products to otherwise. I don't know. It just baffles me.
It makes sense.
And then they go, who would have known that all these people that have consoles would want to play these games?
It's like they're surprised.
They always act like that after they make these announcements. They're like, we had no idea that there was this interest. It's like, come on, man. There's almost 100,000 or 100 million Switches in the wild. There's over 100 million PS4s. The Xbox isn't so lucky. But yeah, I mean, altogether, there's hundreds of millions of consoles that could play these games that you're just missing out sales on.
Yeah, big time. All right, good deal. Good discussion, guys. And let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we will jump into some Donkey Kong Country 2 chat. Welcome back, and thanks for sticking with us. We are going to talk to our good friend and community member, Steven, about this amazing game, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. Don't mispronounce the name now. I've been doing it for years, and I have been corrected, so I'm not doing it anymore. Awesome. So we have some fun facts here. We're going to talk about our personal experiences. And, just kind of go over, I got to the last world, I believe it's the last world, tonight on stream. So first let's talk about that. Who has beaten it and who has not beaten it before? Steven, you said you beat it this week, right? Or recently?
Yeah, I don't think I ever beat it as a kid. I don't remember how far I got as a kid, but yeah, I beat it last night on the Switch.
Sweet.
And the ending levels and the Captain K. Rool fight was a lot of save state spamming. But
Yeah.
yeah,
There was a lot of
able to finish
rewinding
it.
for me on stream as well. Just kind of would be like, that was cheap. I'm going to rewind this and start try it again. It's really
I forgot
handy.
about the rewind feature. I should have used that instead of just spamming my save state.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. John, what about you? Have you ever beaten Donkey Kong Country 2?
I don't have a complete recollection of doing so. So I'm going to say no to be safe. Possible, but I don't remember.
What about you, Sam?
I have. I've even got the 102%
Hey.
completion.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
you get all the
Nice.
bonus coins, all the DK coins, and go to the bonus area, and there's actually a harder fight against K. Rool as well.
That's cool. I'm going to try to do some of that.
As if that's needed.
Yeah, because I've never beaten it. And when I was a kid, I got to like the whole carnival world. Just could not get past a lot of those levels. They're just so hard. But I did tonight on stream, got past it, and got all the way to K. Rool's Keep. But then I had to stop the stream to come record a podcast. So I'm going to complete it. I'm going to beat the game at least this week for sure, because it's just so good. But let's do some fast facts real quick. We've got Donkey Kong Country 2 released on November 1st, 95 in Japan, and December 95 in North America and Europe. Re-released for the Game Boy Advance in 2004, the Wii Virtual Console in 2007, the Wii U Virtual Console in 2015, and currently available on the Nintendo Switch through the NSO app. I owned the cartridge as a kid, but again, it's just so hard, right? Did y'all own this game as a kid?
Yep, I had it.
I actually didn't own this game until the Game Boy Advance copy.
Cool, good deal. It's actually the highest selling Super Nintendo game that was never packaged with the system. So the list of highest selling Nintendo SNES games goes Super Mario World, Mario All-Stars, the original Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario Kart, Street Fighter 2, and then Donkey Kong Country 2. And the top 5 selling games were all at one point bundled with the system, either here in Japan. So that's actually kind of a cool little tidbit, is that it is the best-selling standalone game for the Super Nintendo at 5.1 million units.
Probably helps that one of those packaged-in games was Donkey Kong Country 1.
Yeah, right.
People played it, and it was awesome, and they wanted the sequel.
Exactly. That's how I got my original copy, was through the DKC bundle.
Looking at this list, it just amazes me that A Link to the Past didn't make the top 5, even though it was a pack-in.
Yeah. Yep. And actually, every other game except for Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, which is different than Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior. I don't know anything about Street Fighter. That's not a pack-in, but you know, if you bundle the Street Fighters together, then it's the only, in the top 10 top selling games, the only non-pack-in game that made it to the top 10 selling games on the system. So
Star Fox pack-in?
apparently on this chart, the yellow indicates that it was a pack-in at some point. So it may have been Japan exclusive or Europe exclusive.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember it, but I trust Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I just think that's really cool. That's just a cool little fact about the game. It is incredibly popular even these days. It's touted as being better than the original, which I don't know about that, but you know, that's neither here nor there. So let's see here. Let's talk about this. So one of the things that is interesting about Donkey Kong Country 2 is the incredible risk that Rare took in not including Donkey Kong, the titular Donkey Kong, as a playable character in this game. What do you guys think about that? Did that like sway you a little bit away from buying it, or were you just all in because of the quality of the original? What are your thoughts on that risk that Rare took?
That always bothered me, even as a kid. I'm like, what the heck? It's called Donkey Kong Country, and 2 out of the 3 games, you can't play as Donkey Kong.
I have a little bit of a hot take on this because even in the first game, I preferred to play as Diddy. Like, he just seems to move better.
He's the more agile of the two, for sure. And that's true in this game, too. Dixie is the slower...
more methodical character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just prefer to play as Diddy, so this didn't really impact my playing decision as much.
Yeah, I preferred Diddy too, so I kind of liked that we could play mainly as him for this one.
Made that choice easy.
I don't remember making a conscious decision as a kid, but I do remember I definitely had a much stronger connection to the original. And I wonder now if that's because of the character of Donkey Kong. It also, I think the second one just kind of, the whole game is a much more darker tone than the original. The pirate ships and like, just seemed like, just overall was a much more darker tone. So I think I clung to the original much more tightly as a kid. So that may have been part of why. And it was a pretty big risk, and I'm honestly kind of surprised Nintendo let them do that, considering it's literally it's our character, it's Donkey Kong, and you're gonna make him be captured first thing. And
yeah, I was gonna say it was a story beat, so it had to be, pushed out there pretty early on. Hey, our plan is to not have Donkey Kong playable in this game.
Yeah, it's in the title. Yeah, it's in the title. And actually, yeah.
How cool would it have been if they would have pulled like a Ghosts and Goblins or something, where after you beat the game, like you can now play as Donkey Kong through the whole rest of the game?
I always thought that was what they were gonna do, but no, can't do it. Sorry. So speaking of the what's up, Steven?
Would you have him replace Dixie then, or because the level, like, how would the level design work then?
You just got to figure it out. It's hard mode, man.
It would be tough. Yeah, it'd be really tough.
You have all three of them, I guess.
So other titles they considered before they landed on Diddy's Conquest were DK Rescue, Diddy's Day Out, Diddy's Wild Country, Diddy's Wild Frontier, Diddy's... So, and then it's like the story goes that somebody said, hey, what about Diddy Kong's Quest? And then they were like, well, no, how about Diddy's Conquest with a K?
Oh, gosh.
We'll just confuse everyone. It'll be hilarious. Certainly confused me.
Pun. I like the pun.
Yeah, they had to go with the pun.
No, I like the pun. I'm just saying it's that's how it went down. Which of these alternative titles is your next favorite, though? What do you guys think?
Diddy's Day Out.
Yep.
It just sounds like a completely different game.
That sounds like a buddy
he's
movie.
Going shopping or something.
Yeah, it sounds like a movie.
Had to be, it had to be around the same time as like Baby's Day Out, the movie. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Dustin Checks In.
Yes.
Something like that. Did you guys know that there was a Virtual Boy port in development?
I did not.
Yeah.
I wish they made it, though.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
I think it didn't make it because
that.
the Virtual Boy didn't make it.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I think that would have been really fascinating. I wonder how they would have used the 3D effect, if at all.
It probably would have not had much. It probably would have been more like Wario Land is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Dixie was an interesting addition to the team. They had a bunch of names that they were throwing around for Dixie. Since we're keeping with the like early development, what are things called? We're making a new character. Nearly 50 names, in fact. They had names like Dee, Daisy, Dandy, Dolly, Dizzy, Dippy, and Ducky are some of the known ones. Yeah, that's just some interesting names there. Dixie, I think, was the best of all those. Yeah, so this game is notoriously difficult, especially compared to the original Donkey Kong Country. But when you guys played it, if you played it as a kid, what do you remember about the difficulty, and what were some points where you threw your controller against the wall?
I think you mentioned it already. Just the carnival area is way too difficult for like how early it is in the game too. It's like
I was stuck there for
front.
like 7 years as well.
And I don't remember when, as a kid, I got stuck. I know playing it this weekend, I hate the bird. I hate any level he's in, so I'm sure I got stuck on some bird level.
Man, I didn't have that much trouble with the bird this go around. But I think the level that I died the most was, and actually I kind of got through the carnival level fairly easily, except for some of the minecart stuff got kind of tough. But I think the part that I got the most frustrated were the disappearing ghost vines in like the spooky land. I just could not get the timing down on those things, and I would just like want to go through really quick, and every time I would like get some momentum, they'd like, oh, my vine disappeared and now I'm dead. Just the disappearing vines need to go.
It for a long time, but that same world, the wind levels,
No.
those really bother me.
Yeah, that one too. Horrible. Absolutely disgusting.
Wind is real bad.
And this anytime, listen, I've been playing the game a certain way the whole game. So when you throw like wildly different, like change the physics a little bit, give me like ice to slide on or something sticky, but don't like change my entire jump trajectory at random.
Well, and the thing too is when most games do that, it's strictly a timing based thing, but in Donkey Kong Country 2, the wind changes completely based on your position. Like if you step back, you'll notice the wind goes back to normal or back the other way, and it can, if you're trying to go through the level slowly, it can actually get more confusing.
Yep.
Yeah. Except for some parts where you have to wait because the wind will go at like
Switches,
intervals, and you have to wait for the right. So it's like you have to be both quick and methodical. It reminded me of the Sonic the Hedgehog level because it's like you're required to go fast, except when you're not.
Go fast and slow down.
Hurry up and wait.
This game, like, you know, now that I think about it, you know, I used to think about the minecart levels as Donkey Kong Country, like that's what defined them. But really, when you go in back and play the first one, there's not very many. There's like two, maybe
Three total, I want to say.
Yeah. And then they just like really turn that up in the second game, and they're a lot more difficult. So I think I played this game a lot more than I remember playing it, just for that reason. Because I always think about the minecart levels when I think about Donkey Kong Country.
I think it's so fun when you're in like the racing part. I think that part's actually really fun. And I died quite a bit on that level, but it was pretty engaging having like a secondary goal on top of just finish the level.
Like,
so I
Not
think
it almost
really as hard, but I know there's a level early on that always just stressed me out, where you have to jump on the seal and he turns the lava into water so you can swim through.
That was stressful.
And you have to get through fast enough before it turns back into lava.
That's
I think I could play the minecart levels as a whole game if they made it more like if you instantly started back up as soon as you died. They made it like a Super Meat Boy type game. Because that's the bad part, like with the minecarts, you have to start all over again and wait for it to load and stuff like that. But I mean, if it was just like an endless game where like you just instantly pop back in, that would be kind of cool.
I like that. I mean, that's basically what I did with the rewind. So that certainly led to my enjoyment of the game. Okay, here we go. Let's take a poll. Favorite animal companion? We've got Squitter, Rambi, Radley, Engard, and Squawks in this game.
I still think it has to go to Engard for me.
Really? The fish?
It's on guard, isn't it?
Engard, sure.
Yeah.
It's just how I say Engard.
I'm going to have to say Squitters.
Yes!
Yeah, I think it is the spider squitters.
Just his projectiles go straight, and he can make platforms.
And you can control where they go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a huge
It's pretty
fan.
handy.
I will say though, John, the amount of convenience associated with Endgard when you're underwater is second to none. That certainly makes the levels
water levels fun.
so fun.
Yeah.
Totally.
And his charge attack is really nice. I like that they upgraded that in this game.
And I will even say that Radley has some really fun parts. The like really high jump parts make him really fun, but he's not as useful as a character necessarily.
I do have to mention though, like the glaringly obvious omission of the frog
Yeah.
and Espresso.
Yep.
Espresso,
Winky.
no, Espresso sucks.
Yeah, Winky and Espresso. Like you can't just leave them out.
I'm a fan of Winky though, and Radley is basically just a substitute for Winky. He
Yeah,
kinda
he's
does
a
the same
slower.
thing.
He's a slower Winky. I'd prefer
Slow,
to get
jumps
Winky back.
high.
Yeah. And no, I'm sorry, but Espresso can go to die. I hate Espresso. He's useless.
Even the levels are like you're collecting the
No.
little mini gold figures. Like,
I don't like him.
bad.
He can't attack any enemies. Anytime I've gotten Espresso, you have to avoid everything. I'm not fun. Not a fan.
Espresso is the extra difficulty level in the first game. Like you have to avoid everything. It's very difficult to complete a level and keep him.
Not fun. I agree with the Winky sentiment, but Espresso can die in a fire. Not fun. And you know what? We might have to do this again with the third game because the only other animal companion I remember from the third game is the elephant off the top.
Oh, he was in the first game as well.
No,
No,
Wasn't
the
he?
elephant.
the elephant. No.
That was Ramby
just-
still, yeah.
Ellie.
Oh, it was Ramby in the
Mhm.
first
Still
game,
Ramby.
the Rhino. And I was thinking the elephant was in there too, but yeah, no, it's just the Rhino.
Awesome.
I know Squawks comes back in a couple forms. Purple and green Squawks, I think, come back in 3.
Guys, I don't mind Squawks. Green Squawks. He shoots eggs. He's mobile. He's fine. I don't mind him. Much rather
It's just
have
touchy
him.
to control. I don't like how touchy he is. He just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you just
He's
got to be
always
good at.
spamming that button.
You just got to
Yeah.
get good at
There's
Flappy
the-
Bird.
There is the hummingbird. That's an interesting one. The one that always
Yeah.
flies above you and can get stuff you can't.
Oh,
Doesn't Squawks in the first game just hold the light for
yeah,
you?
he's in one level,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah, that's
basically
what I thought.
might not. Beam basically doesn't
And
exist.
it is way too bright when you turn around and he changes directions.
I
There's a big
remember-
flash
I
of light on the
remember-
screen.
Trying so hard to pause the game right at his flash when you turn. That was like a game I would play with myself, and I remember when I got it, I was so happy. I like left it on pause for like 10 minutes and just was like, "I'm so cool." I paused it at the flash.
Right image into my screen.
It's just white. It's a CRT. There's no screen burn with CRTs. I guess there is. But
Oh yeah, there is.
but yeah. So
Ask any parents who watched the news for like 24 hours a day when we were kids.
the
Have like the
ticker
little
on the
banner
bottom.
thing in the bottom and the clock and everything is like stuck on there.
That's funny. Awesome. All right. Well, we can't talk about Donkey Kong Country 2 without talking about the music for a little bit.
Oh yes.
Which, again, my limited experience with this game, like I'm in love with the music from the first game, but I had no idea how well that whole like genre, like the like fun, like David Wise music sort of evolved in the second game. And I think the song, what's the song that like really stuck out to me? Oh man, I'm not gonna remember now. That's gonna be really
Sticker
annoying.
Brush Symphony.
Is that what it is?
That's the
That's
one. that
one of
most
the
people
big ones. It plays in
Yeah.
those like bramble thorn areas where
Yeah.
you're riding Squawks.
That might have been it. You know what else it was? The minecart level with the giant skeleton alligator that chases you. That song was pretty slapping.
There's so many more levels in this game,
Yeah.
which equally means so many more tracks.
I do think the music is one of the reasons a lot of people say this is the best of the original trilogy. And I think the third game, while the music's not bad, it definitely doesn't stand up to the first two, and I think that's a lot of why that game gets a little unjust poo-pooing from people.
It's iconic, the music, for sure.
Well, and the third game kind of came out pretty late in the SNES life cycle too. Kind of dinged it. Everyone was ready to play Mario 64.
Yeah, the N64 was already out, and I think we had played 2 Donkey Kong Country games, and like, why do we need this third one? Just give us the 64. So you're right about that.
No Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
Well, you get like cheap rip-off Donkey Kong.
not so much. Okay, all right, cool down a little bit there, John. Okay.
Are you a Kiddy Kong fan?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Donkey Kong 64. Okay, my bad.
No.
No,
dude.
he's fine. I don't
He's
care.
not.
Diddy Kong did nothing wrong, guys, okay? He gets
It's
way
like-
too much hate.
It's your slogan.
Like, he's weird, but he's not hurting anyone.
Like, I'd rather have Lanky Kong from Donkey Kong.
Lanky
64.
Kong was cool. Okay.
Dude, he was the man.
Yeah. Of these 3 games, Steven, which one was your favorite? 1, 2, or 3?
I have the best memories with 3, but I enjoyed playing. I think I played the first one the most, so I think nostalgia, that's the first one, but memories is the third one.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, any wrapping up? Any final thoughts on this game? Anything we didn't talk about that you guys wanted to hit?
One thing I think you kind of brought up earlier was the darkness of the level. And me playing DK, the Returns 3D, you can see like just the stark contrast with how dark the levels are in DKC2 compared to that one, because that's like a beach, bright. All the levels are bright and vibrant. These are just dark, scary, and I think the music helps with that too. But yeah, I was surprised with just how dark this game was.
The trees in the scary portion
Yeah.
legitimately, as an adult, terrify me.
Yeah. Just the ghost level, the giant skeletons chasing you on the minecart, and
Oh, big time.
all the swamp levels. It's just a very dark game. Just visually.
They really nailed that for sure.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Anything else we want to hit up before we move on?
One of the things that I do think that 2 improves on a lot from the first game is the boss battles.
Yes.
The boss battles in the first Donkey Kong Country are kind of like, we took a basic enemy and we made him big, and now you have to jump on him several times.
Yeah.
Whereas
and they
the boss
kind of
battles in
recycled
this are
them too.
really special.
Yeah, they recycled them.
It takes multiple tries to memorize what the guys are in this one.
The pirate
You beat them.
The pirate bird was a really fun boss battle where you're kind of climbing up the rafters. That one was really fun. I hated the freaking giant bee. I wanted to burn the city to the ground. I was so upset.
That's what made me hate Squawks, was that bee.
Just he needs
Squawks.
to be, he needs more of a curve up with his eggs. I kept wanting him to like be more of it was so ugh. I died so many
Well,
times.
he descends so quickly compared to how
Yeah.
fast he goes up.
It is interesting though with the giant bee is his weak point actually is his stinger. So you can actually hit him from the front. It's very hard, but if you get like just below him to where it arcs and doesn't bounce off like the front of him, you can actually hit him when he's facing you.
That's suicide though. He's especially in the later forms, he's like zoom 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 zoom. It's like
Seems like I did it
You
already.
just got to get lucky.
So the burning question is, do we get another one of these games, and what do you want it to be like?
Another side-scrolling Donkey Kong?
Yep.
That's a really good question. I mean,
Give me your
obviously,
elevator pitch.
it would be closer to a Tropical Freeze than it would be to an original country game.
Is that preference or just what you think?
No, that's just what I think. It's just at the time, they're not gonna do like a demake of Tropical Freeze. You know, they're gonna continue.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
what
art
I'd
style.
expect.
Yeah. But even if we got a sequel to Tropical Freeze, I'd be hype. But, you know, I am a Donkey Kong fanboy, so I'm the wrong person to ask. What would I want? I think if Nintendo asked me what kind of Donkey Kong game I would want a 3D platformer. I think that Donkey Kong 64 is so like poorly remembered, and we need to redeem Donkey Kong in that space. As much as I love his side scrollers, I think it would be really cool to get something cool. Or I'll take a sequel to Jungle Beat, rhythm game. Let's get that back.
So before the other two guys answer, this one's just for Dan. Would you rather have a remake of or a port of Donkey Kong 64 or a new side-scrolling game?
No, I'd rather have a new side-scrolling game.
Okay.
But that's I have 3 ways of playing Donkey Kong 64, so I'm not hurting for that.
Just
You know?
keeping that in check.
Now, if Donkey Kong 64 means that we're getting N64 games in the NSO app, then I change my answer. But you asked specifically about Donkey Kong 64, so that's
Yes.
all right. What do you guys think? We're getting a new Donkey Kong game. What do you want it to be? What's your
I
pick?
want swappable characters again. Because I think in just the Returns games, you're just Donkey Kong, but you just get the extra health bonuses of having your little pal and the jump float. I want to be able to swap between the two and have that character actually have abilities that can be used instead of just always DK and just thumping stuff.
Well, in Tropical Freeze, can't you be Cranky Kong too?
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, thinking from 3D.
But I don't
Frankie.
disagree with you. I also want more animal buddies.
Yeah, they actually had less in Returns and Tropical. Like, it's pretty much just Rambi, or is Squawks back at some point? I think it's just Rambi.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember flying levels in this one.
Bring back Winky.
Bring back Winky.
Yep. Where's
Bring back
Winky?
Squitters.
Dixie for Smash.
Yeah.
Sam.
Winky.
Sam.
And obviously, we haven't brought up, they need to bring back K. Rool. He's the real villain.
Come on.
No.
Bring him back.
He has the best chance. He's in Smash now, so they already
know.
have his 3D model made.
They know. They know people love him. They already know. All right. Good deal, guys. Any final thoughts on Donkey Kong Country 2 before we move on?
It's
I just
great.
want a new game.
New
Give me a
game.
new one.
Let's do it. More Donkey Kong. New Donkey Kong is always a good thing. I don't care what it is. Bring back Donkey Konga. Who cares? Just more Donkey Kong.
We're gonna get a sequel to Barrel Blast now because Dan
Get
brought it up.
out of here. The only Donkey Kong game I don't like. Thank you for bringing that up. We've got some community stuff happening around the horn. If you want to be part of our community, you're welcome. Please come in. Please come hang out with us. We are a group of non-toxic, non-gatekeepy, fun retro gaming fans who just want to hang out and talk about retro games. You can join our Discord by going to my Twitter bio at RetroLogic Games, clicking the link, or if you don't have Twitter, you can, I don't know, just join Twitter and then find my thing and then leave Twitter. That's really the only way I have to do it. Oh no, you can go to the website too, retrologic.games, the website, and then there's a Discord link there as well. Also, so we just wrapped up July's Retro Rewind discussion, which Sam, you headed up for us. Thank you very much. We had an awesome discussion about Castlevania Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis. So, moving into August, this month we are playing Claymates for the Super Nintendo. It's on the Switch. It's free. Go play it. It's so good, guys. You can be a bird, a cat, you could be a mouse, you could be a fish, you could be a chipmunk. What more do you want in life? I mean, honestly. That game's so good. It's one of my favorites, and I really want everyone to play it. So, go play it. We will be having another live podcast discussion later in the month. Stay tuned for details on that. So, with all that out of the way, we're going to wrap up this episode with just a little spotlight on our community member, Steven. And Steven Keller, we are curious about your collection. I want to start by asking you, when did you start collecting? And like, is this your childhood collection growing, or did you stop at some point and pick stuff back up? Tell me about it.
All the old games, Super Nintendo and prior, they're all my childhood games. All the GameCube games, all my Atari 2600 games, those are all my childhood games. It was around the GameCube era. I still had games, but that was college. And then, so after college, when that Guzek site was the thing, I got rid of a lot of my GameCube games. But so most of the games that are retro, I don't even like considering GameCube retro, but it is probably because we're old.
Yeah,
but
super is.
Yeah. But like all the consoles I have are all my old original consoles. So I've just been a hoarder. My parents have kept everything for me. And so when I bought a house, I grabbed all my old stuff from my parents' place.
Nice. So when you sold your GameCube stuff, what stopped you from selling just all the stuff? You stopped at GameCube.
I didn't have... Those were at my parents' place. I had the GameCube games, so those were on me.
Okay.
So, like, the GameCube and Wii games I had, they were on me. So, like, I got rid of Chibi Robo, and I wish I never did.
Me too.
Because I'll never have that again.
Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough one.
Yeah.
I feel you on that one. So, but you're still... So, even though you have your childhood games, you're still actively buying and hunting for games and shopping around. What are some of your favorite systems to collect for?
Right now, I'm just mainly trying to get Super Nintendo, GameCube, and then Game Boy Advance, or kind of anything that I'm really trying to get. Nintendo's been my childhood console growing up. I never had anything other than Nintendo until the PS3, and so everything growing up was always Nintendo. So Nintendo will always be number one for me.
Do you have any Sega, PlayStation, Xbox stuff at all?
I have none of the old stuff, just PS3 and newer. I have PlayStation 3, cool. PS4, PS5.
It's a good time to do Genesis because it's pretty cheap.
Is it?
Not that you need more to collect, but
yeah. I think only one kid across the street had a Genesis growing up that I ever played. I only played NBA Jam on that. So Genesis is a complete blind spot for me.
Oh.
I only ever wanted Echo the Dolphin growing up, but I've never played it.
Awesome. So you're Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance, and what was the third one?
GameCube.
Yeah. So GameCube recently has shot up like crazy pricing wise, which I'm sure you've noticed. What are some of your Holy Grail games?
I've got pretty much every US Fire Emblem game. So I've got the Wii U and the GameCube game.
Nice.
So those are kind of the ones I've had for a while. Those weren't recent pickups. I've never played them, but I have them just because I liked Fire Emblem because of Smash with Ike. Ike became my main, so I just bought Fire Emblem games because of Ike, even though he's not in them, except for those GameCube games.
Yeah.
And then some other ones are like, I have Chip and Dale 2 for the NES.
Nice.
Except I don't have the manual. I have the box with all the inserts except for the manual, so that kind of hurts. That's like $100 manual. But hopefully my parents have it somewhere.
So what are some games that you're on the hunt for? Like top of your list.
I don't know if I have anything rare off the top of my list. Like I kind of just want to get like the Looney Tune Super Nintendo games. Like I've got Buster Breaks Loose and the Looney Tunes Speedball, but I kind of want to get like Taz. I want to get... There was a couple other
Roadrunner, Coyote.
Yeah, Roadrunner. Yeah, I want that one. Just
Buster-
I don't know why. That's what ones I want.
Buster Bust Loose is one of my favorites, dude. It's a solid Konami platformer. I love that game.
I saw you streaming that one, so I went and they had that at a local store, so I picked that up.
Yeah.
After I saw you streaming that one.
Do you collect any like paragaming stuff, like Nintendo Power magazines or figures, amiibo?
I do the amiibo. I have pretty much I have all the Smash amiibos, all the Fire Emblem, all the Metroid, all the Link, all the Zelda ones. I just didn't get the Animal Crossing line and the Monster Hunter. Other than that, I have every amiibo.
Awesome. Do you set them free or do you let them be?
They are all free. Except for the gold and silver Mario. Those ones are still in box. And
Cool, right on.
Mega Yoshi is still in a box.
Which one's your favorite?
I think tough one. I mean, I really like Ike just because he's my main in Smash.
He's your guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's my guy. And then I like the Yarn Yoshis just because how unique and soft they are.
Yeah.
They're just different. They're not hard plastic.
Man, I'm mad at myself for not getting a Mega Yarn Yoshi when I had the chance because they're so expensive now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I thought they were crazy when they were selling them for $40, and then shortly after they were over 100.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
What are they
I
now?
had one in my
200?
hands. Probably.
They're up there, yeah.
I had one in my hands at Toys R Us and put it down. Gosh dang it.
Personally, just glad I never got serious about collecting amiibo. I would be poor.
Yeah.
I was pretty serious about it at the start, and then it got ridiculous. It got like beyond me, so I left that alone. Complete in box is 180, 150 just for the Mega Yarn Yoshi.
Yeah, I
Which
should have
is-
stopped when I was camping out outside stores and calling stores left and right to try to find amiibos. That's when I should have quit, but I didn't.
The only craze that I went on really was more recently. I tried to get all the Donkey Kong amiibo, and this local retro store was going under, and he just slashed all of its prices, and he had the Super Mario Donkey Kong figure for like $10. So I lucked out hard there. And then I have the like Skylanders amiibo. The only one I'm missing is Diddy Kong, Super Mario Diddy Kong. So, and I think that one's kind of expensive, so I'm not jonesing for it, but that would be one that's nice to have. But awesome. Do you do any of the like Jack's Pacific figures or anything like that, or any other paragaming stuff, guides or anything like that?
I've been trying to get some guides here and there, but nothing major. Like I've recently got the Donkey Kong Country guides. I still need 3, but I bought like 1 and 2 returns. I got the GBA Donkey Kong Country. Just
Nice.
Just here and there, I'll grab guides.
Awesome. What do you think your most expensive item in your collection is?
Probably
The Fire Emblems?
it's probably a Fire Emblem because I have all the collector's editions of all the DS games. So one of those, or it's Chippendale 2. That one's
What's that one going
500.
for now?
I think it was 400,
Is it?
500. Yeah.
Man. Let's see. Let's get a good price on this one. Accurate one. Because I like looking at this stuff. $325 loose, but $720 complete.
Okay. Yeah, I have the cartridge and the box, but
Yeah.
no manual.
So if you add the box only and the cartridge, you're getting about $600 right there. Man, that's crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
For a game that's not that fun.
I know. I mean, like, just what are we looking at? Like, January of 2018 was the last low point, and that was around 150. And then before that, you're not getting much lower until like 2012. So that's pretty crazy. Crazy. Awesome. Good deal. Well, Steven, thanks for being our guest today, hanging out with us.
Yeah, it was fun to be here.
Yeah, dude.
You guys have forced me to spend a lot of money lately just because I keep talking about retro games.
Yeah, you bought a couple items from the shop, so I appreciate that too.
Yeah. I got Star Fox from you.
Definitely appreciate
And
that
Pluck.
support. Yes, that's right. Yeah, you won. You won that recently, right? That was your.
No, I bought that one. I bought that one from you.
No, Bruce won
Oh,
Block,
that's right.
and
Yeah,
then
I bought
didn't
Block.
have a way to
Block?
play it.
Dude, Pluck goes fast. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I had two copies of it up there, and they're both gone now.
It's going up.
It is, yeah. It's over 30 now. Good deal. Well, Steven, thanks for being a community member. Thanks for hanging out with us and just keeping it positive in the Discord. And sorry we were making you spend money, but you know, that's what happens, man. When you get excited about your hobby, you invest in it, and it's you know, you could do worse, couldn't you? You could be,
yes.
You know, you could always liquidate things and make your money back. Good deal. Well, that's about going to do it for episode 40. What are we on? 43 now? Golly, guys, we are very quickly approaching. We're still a few months out still from our 1 year anniversary, but that's going to be pretty fun. I think we're going to start planning some stuff for that. So keep an ear out for those plans. Anything else? Anybody want to? I always like to give an opportunity for you guys to just kind of say whatever you want at the end of the episode. Because, I don't know, maybe you were planning on talking about something and it's not on the list. Or so what do you guys got for me? What do you want to say? Anybody?
Diddy Kong did nothing wrong.
Kitty Kong.
It's like there's been a smear campaign and you're trying to salvage his character.
Yeah, he's trying to clean up his
diaper.
There. His diaper. Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
Even Nintendo is ashamed of him. He didn't make any other appearances.
Yeah, he could have easily been
Imagine
in
if
DK64.
they bring him back, but he's like an adult now. That would
With
raise
the diaper
so many
still.
questions.
He's the new villain.
He's like the guy from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs that has a diaper. Baby
No.
Brent.
He's guys. He's Syndrome. He got a bad rap as a kid, so now he's the villain. That's what happens.
He's the villain.
All right, favorite character from the Donkey Kong universe. Let's go around. Let's do it. Steven, what do you think?
I think that's a tough one. I think I'm a Dixie. I like Dixie.
Dixie for Smash. Let's do it. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name right now. The snowman boss in Donkey Kong Country 3.
Oh,
I
that's a
just
good
love the
one.
fact that he challenges you to a snowball fight as his boss battle.
Yep, I remember that.
Wow. John?
Mine's either Cranky Kong or Lanky Kong.
Cranky or Lanky? Lanky, dude. Lanky's the man. Plays the trombone.
I don't know who did his voice, but like the like when he would jump.
I'm just gonna say Donkey Kong because I'm boring and I love the dude. That's awesome. Well, that's gonna about wrap it up for us here. Thanks for listening to the RetroLogic podcast. We are proudly part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. If you like what you hear, come follow me on Twitter. I love to have fun on Twitter and goof around and do giveaways. And you can follow me there and on Instagram at RetroLogic Games. You're also welcome to jump into our friendly and 100% non-toxic Discord community. Decidedly non-toxic. We work at it and we keep it that way just for you. Just for you to come in and say, hey, I love retro games. And we're all going to say, welcome, with open arms. Welcome you in to the fray. The link to that is in my Twitter bio. You can find the links to absolutely everything, including our music history podcast called Retro Groove, the Discord, the game store, the merch shop, which is, I'm going to plug that because that's awesome. All of that is at our website, retrologic.games. And that's it. That's all we have. So thanks for sticking with us, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye now.